welcome back to part 2 of this training. We've been talking about how to pick your first lead magnet. We've done one video already. We've covered these points here. If you want to find out what all of this information is and hear me talk to you about it, then just check out the link at the end of this video, or you can go down and check out a link to that video in the description. So the next thing we're going to talk about is how I can ensure my lead magnet is easily accessible to my audience. Okay, so we want to make sure that it is in a format that people can access. If they've got to put their email address in and then they've got to do something else, and maybe there's a password and there's lots and lots of different things in the way of them getting their lead magnet, they're less likely to jump through all those hoops because they just want something that is for free. Whereas if you've got a one-click download, or they put their email into an inbox, into a form, and then in their inbox they're going to get their PDF or a link to one video training or a landing page, and that's very easy for them to access. We want to reduce friction as much as possible. We want to show our audience that working with us is very seamless and very, very easy. The next thing we need to think about is, can I exceed my audience expectations with the value provided in my lead magnet? So we want to promise a lot, because otherwise people are just not going to download it. People are overwhelmed with freebies and lead magnets at the moment as a marketing tool. So we are at first going to have to go well over and above what we would normally do. And that doesn't necessarily mean volume. Quite often that can just mean depth or the format. So for example, people will value video a lot more than they will something like a simple PDF. Okay, so but you need to think back to what I said in the first part of this, so do go back and look at that video before you make a decision outright on that. But we need to make sure that we are going beyond what we promised. Okay, so we want to over deliver. So if we're going to offer like a checklist that's got 20 points, maybe we'll put a bonus 10 in there. Okay, if we're going to do a video training of 10 videos, then we maybe go overboard and we offer them 15. We want to give more to our audience and over deliver on what they are getting. It could be as simple as follow-up emails giving them additional offers and discounts on services. Okay, how effectively do I communicate the benefits of my lead magnet to encourage signups? Okay, now the big problem is people sit there and go, you will get this, and that's not what people want. People want the transformation. Okay, so if I go back to my example from the previous video, we were talking about a lead magnet that helps parents whose children don't sleep. Parents don't necessarily just want their child to stay in bed longer. What they want is they want uninterrupted movie night. They want uninterrupted sleep. Okay, and that's the benefit that you want to communicate to your parents for downloading this lead magnet. Yes, you're going to help them solve a problem, which is getting their child to stay in bed, but the result of that is they get movie nights back. They get to be able to do the dishes in peace, or just get to bed when they want to get to bed, knowing that they're not going to get woken up again. So you need to be able to really think about the benefits, and you can use AI to do that and help you write that. Then we want to think about, how will I measure the performance of my lead magnet and make necessary improvements? Because as I said in the previous video, you won't just want to do one lead magnet. You're not going to get it right the first time. So how can you actually measure your lead magnet is working, that you're getting results? If you're testing 2 or 3, how are you going to measure which one is best? And then you can make either changes to that lead magnet, or you can stop using one lead magnet and focus on some others. So that's something for you to consider. Okay, now the best way that I would do that is I would be asking my audience. So as part of the download, I would have a short pop-up, maybe a survey that people can fill out in order to get some extra information from them. Or I might be doing it afterwards, where I would email them a few days after they've got the lead magnet, and then I would be asking them for their feedback. I could be doing it in a face-to-face way, maybe again offering some kind of discount on a video call, or offering people some free advice on a video call in exchange for getting that information back. But conversations are the way that you are going to be able to measure that performance in the beginning. As you go on and your business gets bigger, your newsletter list gets bigger, and you're getting drawn and doing more things, then you won't be able to have conversations with people as much, but you'll also know what is working, what people want, and exactly how to deliver it. So it won't be much of a problem once you're established. But initially, actually talking to the people that are downloading your lead magnet, however you decide to do that, is going to be a big part of your success. Hopefully you found these 2 videos useful. If you look at the video on the screen now, this talks you through exactly how you can start a newsletter. And if you want to join our community of newsletter operators, you'll find the link down in the description. We'll see you in the next one.